Good afternoon. I want to thank you all for joining us here today for Washington State's annual Worker Memorial Day ceremony. My name is Joel Sachs, and I'm the director here at the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries. I want to welcome all of you here to L&I, and I want to especially take a moment to welcome all of the families and loved ones of the fallen workers we're here to honor today. Whether you're with us here in the auditorium or joining us online, thank you so much for being part of today's ceremony. And I'd like to ask you to join me in rising for the posting of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right, face, ready, post, ready, dress, cut. Present. Arms.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Left. Face. Forward. Arm.
Please be seated. Joining us now to give today's invocation is Jeffrey Jones, the chaplain and religious coordinator at the Washington State Department of Corrections Center in Little Rock.
Shall we pray? We're thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities. May we appreciate and use each moment. We pray for strength and guidance as we take time to remember our loved ones. Cover us with your love, that each passing day will bring us more joy. May we never forget, and may we be assured of your presence with us. It is in the name of all that is righteous we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Jones. To each of you who lost a loved one in a workplace illness or injury, we offer you our deepest condolences. We're here today to honor your lost family members in today's ceremony. Here's a quick overview of today's events. We'll start with Governor Ferguson, and then we'll hear from leaders of business and labor organizations from across the state. Our featured guest speaker will share the depth of personal loss from a family member's perspectives. Our ceremony will then honor each of your loved ones by the reading of their name and the ringing of a bell. After the formal program, we'll invite you to join us in our memorial garden. There, it will be your opportunity to ring the state's memorial bell and share a story or a memory to honor your loved one if you'd like. I think it's so important that we come together to share this opportunity and to remember our fallen workers. Being together connects us in so many different ways. Families, businesses, labor, advocates for workers, government. It's with that last group in mind that I want to offer my welcome and sincere thanks to some very special members of our L&I community who are here with us today. To our L&I pension staff who help families through a very difficult and trying time. And to our L&I safety and health officers who have the tough job of investigating workplace fatalities to try to figure out what went wrong and how can we collaborate to strive to prevent that from ever happening again. To all of you, to all of my L&I colleagues, please accept my heartfelt gratitude for the challenging and important work that you do each and every day. Each of the 97 workers we honor today woke up in the morning, went to work, expecting to return home healthy to their families, to their loved ones. They had plans. They made memories. They lived their unique lives each and every day. They worked hard to support their families and strove to make their workplaces, to make their communities a better place. It's our mission here at L&I to focus on keeping Washington safe and working. And over the years, I've come to recognize that that takes a daily commitment at every workplace if we're ever going to make that a reality. And that's why I am privileged today to welcome a leader who I know is fully committed to keeping Washington workers and Washington workplaces throughout all of Washington safe and healthy. Please join me in welcoming our governor, Bob Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Joel, and thanks to all who helped organize and put together this important event. I really appreciate you doing that important work. And along with Joel and on behalf of the people of the state of Washington, to the families and to others who are here who lost a loved one, on behalf of the people of the state of Washington, I just want to express my deepest condolences for your loss. And a couple thoughts, and I'm going to be brief. We're remembering folks who did something important. They worked. And that contribution through their work helped others, helped their colleagues, and helped our state. They were dedicated professionals doing that important work for all of us. They worked in a range of fields: firefighters, pilots, construction workers, engineers, truck drivers, and many, many other professions. I'm mindful also that they were parents, siblings, nephews, nieces. They had friends. They were working hard to support their families. Their work was important, and we are deeply grateful for it. I was thinking as well, and I have a very clear memory of the first time, I don't think I've ever told you this, Joel, the very first time I can remember thinking about workplace safety. So I'm one of 7 kids, 6 brothers, 1 long-suffering sister in our family of 7, and I was a young boy at the time. And many of my siblings have worked in Alaska in the fishing industry, and some still do. And so one of my older brothers, his name's John, he was on a fishing boat that summer. So I was pretty young, maybe 12 or 13. And he went up, and the boat was, my cousin was the captain of the vessel, and they ran into a really bad storm. And at some point during the storm, most of the crew was down below, and my cousin came down and said to John and the others on the fishing boat to get their survival suits and to come up top, that things were that bad, which they did. And my brother John, who, to me is like a larger-than-life kind of guy. He's a big guy. Back then had a big beard. I mean, he can take care of himself, my brother John. And he told me about what happened, and he said when he got up to the top and looked out, he said, "I'd never seen a sky that dark or a sea that rough." And he talked about how scared he was, which I remember being a little boy, that struck me that my brother John could even be scared, you know? He was a tough guy. He is a tough guy. And thankfully, my cousin Quinn managed to navigate through that really terrible storm. You know, I say that story because it was the first time I thought about, wait a second, you know, my brother's just going to work. That's how I thought about what he did. He just was going to work. It never crossed my mind as a 12-year-old kid or however old I was that he might not actually come back. And you know, I can't imagine in our family of 7 very close siblings if John had not come back, right? The hole in our family would be profound, to put it mildly. He's up in Alaska right now, right? That's where he is right now. He's been going there for over 40 years. And so, you know, I just share that story because, you know, I was a kid then, but as a governor now, and Joel knows this, you know, from my perspective, you know, for someone like John or for anyone who goes to work, from my perspective, they should, one, get every penny that they earn from their work that day. And number 2, they should have a safe work environment, that everything possible should be done to provide that safe work environment. And I'm appreciative of Joel and the whole team at L&I, and you mentioned this already, who do that really important work. We're not perfect in doing that work, nobody is, but I so appreciate all the professionals who do this important work, the public servants who do this work, to do everything we can in our power to create and maintain and enforce a safe work environment. So again, I'm just so sorry for your loss. I appreciate all of you being here. It's an honor to be here and to say a few words, and look forward to continuing to work together with the public servants in L&I to honor their memory. And one key way, I think, to honor that memory is to do the important work we do to try and maintain the safest work environments possible. Thank you so much.
Governor, thank you. Thank you for your words, and thank you for your leadership and your dedication and your passion to protecting workers across our entire state. Worker Memorial Day events are happening in communities across the country, really across the entire globe. Here in Washington State, our ceremony is a little bit different than what happens in other places. It's designed to be a joint observance that includes government, that includes organized labor and worker advocates, and the business community. That being together symbolizes Washington's cooperative approach to workplace safety. Our next group of guests represent both workers and employers across our state. And they show a clear demonstration and commitment to workplace safety. First, we're going to hear from April Sims. April is the president of the Washington State Labor Council, AFL-CIO. It's the largest labor organization in our state. Then, we'll hear from Emily Whitman. Emily is the Government Affairs Director for the Education, Workforce, and Healthcare at the Washington Association of Business. AWB is the oldest and largest statewide business organization with nearly 7,000 members. And then we'll hear from Matt Saxon. Matt is the past president of the Washington Self-Insurers Association. It's an association that includes more than 400 major public and private sector employers. Let's start by welcoming April.
Thank you, Joel, and good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is April Sims. My pronouns are she and her. I have the privilege of serving as president of the Washington State Labor Council, AFL-CIO, which is the umbrella labor organization in our state. And on behalf of the more than 600 affiliated unions representing over 500,000 union members across the state, I want to thank you for inviting me today. I want to thank the Department of Labor and Industries and to every worker who carries forward the mission of protecting the people who power our communities. It is a solemn honor to be with you all today. Workers' Memorial Day is indeed a day of grief and reflection, but it is also a day of purpose. We gather to remember those who went to work and never came home, and those whose lives were changed forever by illness or injury. The names we hear today are not just numbers to be tallied. They are dreams unfulfilled. They are family members missing from our lives. They are workers who went to work one morning and simply never came home. So to the loved ones of those we lost, the labor movement sees you and we hold your grief. And to the workers who are here in service of safety and care, I thank you. Your work matters. It saves lives. There is a phrase that echoes through the union halls every April 28th, that we mourn for the dead and we fight for the living. It was true when Mother Jones first said it over a century ago, and it is still true today. We continue that fight today because we know the losses we mark here today were not inevitable. They were not natural. They were, in fact, preventable. And because they were preventable, we are called, each of us, to continue the work of prevention. That means listening to workers. It means enforcing safety rules. And it means investigating systems and oversight and training before the accident, not just after. And we are making progress. Laws that better protect our youth workers, hard-fought wins that shield outdoor workers from deadly heat. But progress does not mean our work is done. Until every worker in Washington can finish their shift safely and make it home, we cannot rest. So today we remember, we recommit, we raise our voices as workers, as families, as leaders, and we say clearly every worker deserves a safe job and every family deserves to be whole. Let our remembrance lead us to action. Let our grief fuel our resolve. And let our solidarity be the force that ensures no more names are added to the list we read today. May the families find peace and comfort in the memories of their lost loved ones and in knowing that our work is not yet done. We mourn the dead and we continue the fight for the living. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emily Whitman, and I am with the Association of Washington Business. It is an incredible honor and privilege to be before you today. For over a decade, AWB has been participating in this event, and every year, honestly, we hope it's our last one, because we hope that by next April, every brother, sister, father, parent who leaves for work in the morning has come back through that door at the end of the day. We honestly hope that we don't have to bring out the bell next year. But today, as you've heard, we're honoring 97 lives of our brothers, sisters, parents, and friends. And to the families and loved ones today, I hope you truly know that we recognize you and your loss is felt and seen with respect. Honestly, as I was reading through the names, I've been practicing them, so pre-apology, we are trying our best. I was filled with gratitude, genuinely, and relief that my father, a commercial electrician of 35 years, did come home every day and retired safely. And that relief, unfortunately, was short-lived when I heard recently that the man who hired him as that early apprentice in his early 20s was actually diagnosed with mesothelioma from asbestos-related exposure at job sites. My first conversation with my dad was, okay, Dad, this is the guy who hired you. This is the man you worked beside. This is the guy who taught you, and you taught me not to put things on the top of the ladder. That's not where tools go. Tools go in your tool belt, not on the ladder. Are you gonna get sick too? Are we gonna have this conversation just like that man's family is having that conversation? And he said, honestly, no. Because by the time I got there, the rules had changed. When rules are followed and when rules are enforced and employers want to follow the rules and enforce the rules, lives are saved. Your workforce is your family, and your family walks through the door at the end of the day. On behalf of the business community, let today serve as a renewal of our commitment to prioritize safety, to advocate for dignity in the workplace, and to ensure that going to work never means not coming home. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Matt Saxon. I'm here on behalf of the Washington Self-Insurers Association. Thank you for the honor and privilege of speaking today. We're here because of the tragic loss of 97 lives in workplaces across Washington. people whose work supported themselves and their families, provided essential services to their communities, and in some way, large or small, contributed to our share of prosperity. It is important to remember that the names you will hear today were not only workers, but they were also someone's loved one, a mother or father, a sister or brother, a grandparent, and a friend. All are grieving from their loss. We must continue to work to protect Washington's workforce and recognize by doing so, we are also protecting and enriching each worker's family and their communities. On behalf of the self-insured community, I extend my sincerest condolences to the families of those whose loss we are recognizing today and pledge our continued support improving workplace safety. Thank you.
April, Emily, Matt, thank you. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your willingness to work together to protect Washington workers. We appreciate your thoughts today. We appreciate your participation. And most importantly, we appreciate what you do each and every day to strive to make Washington a safer place. It's now my honor to introduce our next speaker, Heidi Bryan. Heidi lost her son, Tyler, in a logging accident in 2014. Logging, even today, remains one of our nation's most dangerous jobs. As with so many of the workers that we'll honor today, Tyler's life was just getting started. Let's take a look at his story.
He was just shy of his 22nd birthday.
21.
Just getting started.
He always wanted to be outdoors. I think he was always meant to be doing what he was doing.
Growing up, typical boy stuff, partying, and he was a little wild there for a while, and we were worried about him. He met his fiance, and she kind of grounded him, and then she got pregnant. He settled, and he was happy. We got to see him with his feet on the ground. These are the boots and his hat that he was wearing the day he was killed.
It definitely changes you.
I mean, it's a finality, and your mind doesn't want to accept it. Your mind wants to play games like, oh, he's just on vacation. Oh, he can just walk through the door any minute. And that's not true. They don't come back from that.
Good afternoon. I feel honored and privileged to be here today with all of you. Tyler lived every day of his life to the fullest, and unfortunately, on February 10th, 2014, a little over 11 years ago, as you saw from the video, was the day we were placed into our grief journey. Having sat in the seats that you sit in today, my heart breaks for each and every one of you. I call it our grief journey because it is an ongoing process and is not something that goes away or you get over. Grief just gets different. Similar to a cut or an open wound that eventually develops scar tissue, but still is always present, each of us travels it differently, as I have witnessed through my husband and 2 older boys. Watching them mourn the loss of their brother and son reminds me as a mother that I cannot fix it or take their pain away, and that realistically, this loss is with us until our own dying days. Tyler's tragic death was of no fault of his own, nor was it due to the great men he worked with like Dennis Skadlock, Nick Eldridge, Nico Smith, and Lance Grove, to just mention a few. Not that we don't want to blame others to make sense of it all. It's just one of those inherent dangers ever present in the logging industry. We are thankful and blessed he left us a legacy and a gift in his son Cohen, who was born April 2nd of 2014, just after Tyler passed. They never got to meet. He also brought his beautiful fiancée, Sadie, into our lives, and she truly is one of a kind, brings us joy and happiness. She made us honorary grandparents to her two girls, Blake and Riley, that came just years later. This year, like many before, posts are made on social media regarding Tyler on the anniversary of his death. This year, Sadie posted one that shows the love she still carries even though she found a great man to live her life with. She writes, "The last couple years, like clockwork, the kids randomly bring up Tyler in the days leading up to today, February 10th. Mainly Blake. She's always so curious about him and will ask questions about who he is, what he liked, what he did. She still asks if I think he would like her, which is obviously yes. He loved kids and wanted a million of them. She asked me why Bubba, Cohen, doesn't like to talk about him. Tyler would be so proud of Cohen. It breaks my heart every day that he has to miss out on the things that I get to witness, that everlasting guilt. 11 years later, and it's still really hard for me to grasp that he is in heaven. We get so busy in the hustle of life, we forget to slow down and grieve. So here I am, 11 years later, being reminded why it's important to not bottle up and hide your emotions. Hug your loved ones so tight and never let them go. So as you see, this journey is ever-changing and ongoing. What truly has gotten me through this is my faith in God, my family, my friends, coworkers, community, and so many other things. Ultimately, I want you to take away from today is your loved ones are amazing, special, and loved. We should celebrate them with memories you hold that and love for you every day, and that you should love yourself through this process. Allow yourself to hurt, to laugh, to cry, and give yourself grace to just be in your grief when needed. Life is short. Live each day if it's your last. Tyler has taught us that. And eventually you will find a place of happiness again. By the glory and grace of God go I. I will be praying for each and every one of you. Thank you for your time.
Heidi, thank you. I admire your courage and so appreciate your willingness to share your story with all of us. You've given us an important message and giving us so many things for us to reflect on here today. You know, I think when a worker who dies from a workplace illness or injury is also a parent or a life partner, it adds yet another burden. Thankfully, there is an organization that can help in a small way ease the financial burdens that come from losing a parent or a spouse on the job. The nonprofit called Kids Chance of Washington provides scholarships to help pay for the educational costs for family members whose lives have been profoundly impacted by the loss of their mother, their father, their husband, their wife. Kids Chance of Washington has awarded nearly $750,000 to fund 176 scholarships for children and spouses across Washington state. Here at LNI, we're grateful for Kids Chance for helping these family members fulfill their educational careers in the wake of the tragedy. And for anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about Kids Chance, just ask any of us here at LNI and we'll be able to tell you a little bit about the organization. Many of our honored families provided photos of their loved ones that you can see in the tribute section of the program that we shared with you today. We're now going to also share those on screen, accompanied by a musical tribute featuring members of the Tumwater High School Notables. On behalf of all of us here today, I want to thank the choir from Tumwater High School for that beautiful music. You know, the traditional bell ringing and name reading, which we'll be moving into next, is a somber and respectful gesture to honor fallen workers. Each time the bell tolls, together we'll hear a name. It represents a person, but it also symbolizes the life of a lost soul, a life that's been taken from all of us. Joining April and Emily and Matt for the reading of the names are Nitran, pension adjudication supervisor here at the Department of Labor and Industries, and Karen Michael, an industrial hygiene manager from L&I's Division of Occupational Safety and Health. The memorial bell ringers are Battalion Chief A.C. Bates and Lieutenant Scott Kennedy from the Tumwater Fire Department.
Brian A. Inez Levings, 52, firefighter. Rafael Areola, 72, trailer mechanic. Gerald E. Bockham, 67, lead mechanic. Paul M. Berliner, 65, pilot. Philip E. Bramson, 65, radiation protection manager. Elisha A. Bryan, 30, airport worker. Celso Buesto Guerrero, 55, farm worker. Devora Carrasco, 61, counselor. Charles R. Cato, 73, firefighter. Alan A. Chang, 59, delivery driver. Carl M. Christensen, 78, millwright. Dakota A. Klein, 32, machine operator. Sean J. Coffey, 45, pipe layer. Robert E. Connor, 85, electrician. Curtis J. Cooper, 62, logging truck driver. James Dean, 47, truck driver. Robert Bob D. Deathridge, 65, field engineer. Jose Joe Inez M. De Leon, 46, truck driver. Robert D. Dupuy, 73, engineer. James H. Dutero, 79, drywall business owner.
Jeremy D. Eaton, 46, industrial hygienist. Carlos F. Fernandez, 42, landscaper. Phil O. Farrell, 72, firefighter. Christopher Chris M. Gadd, 27, Washington State Patrol Trooper. Sharon L. Gilliland Colbert, 69, registered nurse. Charles H. Gore, 67, construction worker. Mark E. Hobrick, 62, warehouse worker. Benito Hernandez Nunez, 57, landscaper. Daniel L. Hoffer, 65, auto body painter. Nicholas F. Hokima, 34, taxi driver. Brian L. Holdener, 67, grounds maintenance worker. Justin K. Jepson, 48, farm equipment operator. Mark E. Johnson, 61, iron worker. Mikias Kubiti, 44, truck driver. Carl J. Keller, 61, automotive assembler. Sergey Kuby, 50, delivery driver. Stephen R. Larby, 72, iron worker. Earl K. Lehue, 86, carpenter. Diane M. Llewellyn, 84, social activities coordinator. Eddie R. Long, 76, dump truck driver.
Leonard E. Loreen, 72, X-ray technician. Earl S. Lauterbach, 78, carpenter. Jose L. Martinez Pineda, 51, machinist. Wayne E. McIntyre, Jr., 48, maintenance technician. Charles L. McVeigh, 83, mechanic. Kendall R. Meldrum, 67, truck driver. Juan Meza Rodriguez, 16, construction worker. Rhonda L. Michaels, 73, emergency room coordinator. Michael P. Munson, 63, security officer. Anthony J. Naley, 37, truck driver. James L. Narad, 71, truck driver. Ernest A. Ormsby, 64, utility operator. Michael J. Owens, 79, technician. Drake E. Pilcher, 55, pipe fitter. Ryan T. Pleasance, 41, firefighter. Esther M. Powell, 63, teacher. Michael C. Priest, Jr., 41, fabricator. James D. Prescott, 71, reactor operator. Robert Bobby G. Preston, Sr., 75, pipe fitter.
Lawrence J. Ruhr, 67, construction worker. Scott A. Ritchie, 64, project manager. Amber M. Rodriguez, 31, paraeducator. Renee Rodriguez Beltran, 54, remediation service worker. Wayne C. Ruby, 69, Washington State Patrol trooper. Ryan C. Ruckman, 29, case manager. Timothy A. Russell, 56, RV resort owner. Eric M. Saint, 56, truck driver. John R. Sherbick, 62, utility operator. Dwight G. Snyder, 88, fabricator. Abdi Kadir Gadi Sharif, 31, rideshare driver. Dennis Sinef, 50, forklift operator. Malkeet Singh, 30, truck driver. Jerome Skinner, 66, senior contract specialist. Dennis L. Slater, 71, welder. Richard G. Slocum, 80, Vice President, Hanford Site Operations. Leslie D. Smith, 69, Fire Lieutenant. Robert Mike Spurrell, 46, River Guide. Randall L. Strickland, 69, Nuclear Chemical Operator.
Furman E. Stubblefield, 90, chemical engineer. James H.D. Stull, 72, pipe fitter welder. William J. Stump, 74, neurologist. Lawpool M.G. Tulaga, 32, sous chef. Gary J. Tobanek, 83, machinist. James C. Thomas, 84, truck driver. Oteneru B. Tinafu, 62, bus driver. Darren D. Toe, 58, pilot. Kimberly N. Unti, 67, social services worker. Mary A. Valentine, 48, biologist. Bowden Vetrov, 57, truck driver. Jesus Villa Ambris, 40, truck driver. Victor A. Voloshin, 56, truck driver. Dean G. Warren, 60, firefighter. Rodney C. Wheeler, 46, bridge attendant. Edward Wolf, 86, construction worker. Alex S. Wan, 83, manager. Sean J. Yim, 59, bus driver. Daniel T. Zarate, 25, landscaper.
If you will, please join me in a moment of silence to remember these fallen workers. I've shared this story with some of my colleagues here at the department. Worker Memorial Day takes on an incredibly special and personal meaning for me, because it was actually my first day working here at L&I, working for the state of Washington, was on Worker Memorial Day. It was back in 1998, and I remember it. It was the day we dedicated our memorial garden. I remember sitting where all of you were sitting and reflecting on the lives lost. This ceremony grounded me in the importance of the work that we need to do together. You could feel the importance in the room. It was palpable. You could see it on the faces of the family members who came to honor their loved ones. You know, L&I's hosted this event for 32 years. And unfortunately, that represents more than 2,000 tragic and completely preventable deaths. Today, as we come together and we pause and we reflect on the names and the lives of fallen workers, we can see that they come from all different walks of life, from a range of backgrounds, and from communities from across our great state. As Heidi mentioned, her son Tyler was just 21 years old when he died on the job. Today, we read the names of 4 young workers whose lives ended before they reached their 30th birthday. Among them, 29-year-old Ryan Ruckman. Ryan was working as a mental health case manager, providing help to the homeless people in Seattle when he died in a vehicle accident. His wife, Jen, who's here with us today, said that Ryan had a heart for serving others and dedicated his life to helping his community. The oldest worker we honor today was 90 years old, Furman Stubberfield. Furman started at Boeing in Seattle. He worked as a chemical engineer. In 1962, he began his career. He held a variety of prestigious positions in his career. He worked for the U.S. Department of Energy, the International Atomic Energy Agency, and at Hanford. He retired in 1997. Furman died from a lifetime exposure to harsh chemicals, to toxins, to radiation, to hazardous waste. He's actually one of 33 workers we're honoring today who died from diseases caused by exposure to toxic chemicals. 13 of those workers worked at Hanford. Others worked as firefighters, pipe fitters, or in other industries where they had to work around hazardous chemicals each and every day. As I think about that, it reminds me that beyond working to prevent the hazards we can see, it is so important that we focus on the hazards we don't see with our eyes. In addition to things like fall protection, trench boxes, we have to remember the threats from what we breathe in and from what we can get on our clothing, because over time, that can be equally as deadly. Another invisible hazard is stress that can affect a worker's mental health. Excessive workloads, lack of control, poor relationships, inadequate support can negatively impact an employee's safety and their well-being. And, I really believe that that's something that we can all collectively and together work toward improving in 2025 and beyond. That reminds me of another area. Over the past few years, we've spent time together talking about trenching. In 2022, across our nation, 35 people, including 3 in our own state, lost their lives in a trenching collapse. Now, together, in these last few years, we've been working so hard to re-emphasize the importance of trench safety. And I am incredibly humbled to say that in today's ceremony, we did not have to ring the bell for any trench-related fatalities in 2024. Now, for me, that's good news. And yet, I want to leave you with a challenge for each and every one of us. For those of us at L&I, for business, for labor. And that's a simple challenge. Let's achieve 0 workplace fatalities across all industries. So here's my ask. Join me, join the department in recommitting to creating safer workplaces tomorrow than we have today, so that one day that bell simply doesn't ring. I believe the best tribute that we can pay to the men and women we honor today is to pledge that we will never give up on that simple but critical goal. Chaplain Jones, I invite you to rejoin us now for the benediction.
Shall we pray? Gathered in our various faiths, we give thanks for the blessings of our community as we share in our common bond. Let us hold fast to that which is good, render to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the needy and the afflicted, and honor all people. We remember before you our comrades, now departed this life. We honor them for their loyalty, for their good deeds, and for their friendship. May they rest in peace. Enable us as we leave this place and to carry forth this prayer into the coming weeks. It is in the name of all that is righteous we pray. Amen.
Chaplain Jones, thank you. And I want to thank everyone who both took part in today's ceremony as well as the dozens of people across our agency who worked so hard to put on today's event. But of course, most importantly, I want to thank each of you, family members and friends who chose to join us today, both here in the auditorium and online, to remember and honor your loved ones. Each name that you heard today, as that bell tolled, is listed here in our memorial book. This book is on permanent display in our rotunda here in our building, because it's a daily reminder for each and every one of us of the important work that we must do. If any of you had a friend or a family member who couldn't join us here today or watch us live stream, we're going to have this broadcast available on our website. We want to be able to share the message of our joint commitment and our joint passion for worker safety and our respect for fallen workers with everyone. So I would encourage you to share the link with others. It's now time for us to move outside into our memorial garden and create a space for our family members to honor their loved ones. There, you'll see a bell generously donated by the Washington Building and Construction Trades Council. Family members, friends, you're welcome to ring that bell, and if you'd like, to tell us a little bit about your loved one who we honor here today. The memorial garden is close by. If you just, as you turn and leave the auditorium, if you just make a right and then turn left, you'll see the garden, and we'll have staff along the way to guide you out to the garden. Again, for everyone joining us today, live and online, thank you for being here, thank you for participating, and thank you for your commitment to helping make Washington State safe for workers across our great land. Thank you. family members to come join me here at our memorial bell. Feel free. Welcome to invite all of our honored guests and anyone who wants to honor and remember a fallen worker to come join us here at the bell. Okay, so as we begin to get started with this, let me just do a very brief introduction. This is really for all of our family members and friends. This is your part of the ceremony. This is your opportunity to give voice to give remembrance to your loved one. I would invite anyone to come ring our bell, share the name of your loved one, take the mic, and if you're willing, just share with us a little bit of your story, your remembrance, the things that you want us to know about that special person from your life. Before we begin, I do want to share with you that today, Worker Memorial Day, is the one day a year where we gather together and ring our bell. And with that, what I would invite you as you come up, feel free to give a good whack to the bell. It's strong, it'll take it. And we welcome you and appreciate your willingness to share a little of your heart, a little of your loved one with all of us.
Whack it up.
Just whack it away. Do it again, as hard as you want.
I gotta do 3.
3 sounds perfect. Like to say a few words?
Hi, my name's Julie. My husband's Daniel Hoffer. I just want to share a quick story that he wants me to share with everyone. He made it almost all the way through life without making that ultimate marriage commitment. He made it to 59. By then, he knew me for enough years that he knew that he didn't want to let me go. We were on our way on the ferry over to see if he could qualify for another kidney transplant, which didn't work out. However, we're on the ferry and he excused himself to go to the restroom. When I'm sitting there and the ferry captain came over the loudspeaker and asked everybody to bring their attention to the front of the boat, because I was in the front of the boat. I was so excited. I'm about to see a pot of whales. This is really awesome. So I'm looking for the whales, and then the captain says my name. Well, I'm looking around. I have my bag. I have my purse. I don't know why he's saying my name. And as I looked up to try to figure it out, he is telling me Daniel Hoffer is offering you his hand in marriage. And I looked over, and my man was on his knee with the most beautiful look on his face and the most beautiful ring I had ever seen. And it was just such a great event. And everybody on the ferry was up in the front looking at us and clapping and cheering. And, well, I didn't know what to do, so I bowed, because that's what you do, right? So anyway, that's just a portion of my husband. He was the sunshine for anybody and everybody that ever met him. And I am honored and pleased that he wanted me to be his wife. And that's it.
All right, I know how to do this.
Okay.
Which end do I use this? How about this?
Yep, either side.
So Gail, you're the one that's supposed to talk. I'm just supposed to ring the bell.
Thank you, Jeff. I don't know how to follow that. Each of us here that is remembering a loved one has something special that they want to say. And I guess before I share a little bit about my son, or about our son, just hold their memories dear, and the love that you felt for them. Make sure you share that with everyone else too. And with that, our son was a river guide, and he was on the first run of the year on the Wenatchee River. He was really excited the night before. I was talking to him, and he was telling me that he had had a great day with his girls. He was divorced, and his 3 girls had spent the afternoon and evening with him, and he had so much fun with them, and he was so excited. And the last thing he said to me was how excited he was that he got to make the first run on the Wenatchee River, and that the waves were so high he knew it was going to be an incredible run. Our son Mike was an adrenaline junkie, and so we knew he was in for a good time. His raft, they were most of the way through the run, and they went through a particularly dangerous section of the river, and the end of his raft clipped a rock, and the raft flipped. Our son had asthma. The cold water, even with a wet suit, triggered an asthma attack, which triggered a heart attack. But before Mike had his heart attack, he was in full rafting guide mode, and he was shouting commands to his passengers, telling them how to right the raft and get back into the raft. I guess the only thing I would say is, as much as we miss him, he was 46, that he lived his motto. His motto was live life, love life. And our son lived his life with a lot of love, and he loved a lot of people. So I guess I don't know what else to say, except I want all of you to remember that and live your lives and love your life and cherish the memories that you have of your loved one.
So I really don't want to say too much other than the live, love, whatever it was. Live life, love life. Mike had a tribe. If you're in touch with other people, if you're the type of individual that really does love life, they love people, we found out so much about him after he passed than we ever knew before. So we're actually really proud of him.
There you go. I'm going to make some noise. Well, my husband, after we'd been seeing each other for about 3 years, says, well, I guess it's time to get married. That's what I got. So kudos to you for the romantic gesture. So Mark Hobrick was my husband. And we weren't together for a long time, but boy, we made up for it in those times we had together. Lots and lots of amazing memories. Between the two of us, we had 22 grandchildren, and we now have one on the way. And that is the thing that is hardest for me, is he loved his grandchildren. So, my little granddaughter, I took her up to the cemetery. She said she wanted to go up there. She's 3, and it's tough because I know she's not going to remember him other than what I tell her and the pictures. But she goes up, and she walks up, and she's so careful as she walks up to the grave because she wants to make sure she doesn't step on him, right? So she walks up to it. She gets right on the edge, and she bends down, and she says, "Where is he?" So anyway, we have a lot of grandchildren under 5, and the only thing they're going to remember is what I tell them and what their parents tell them. That's the toughest for me. And the real kicker to all this, guys, is he died of a knee injury, for heaven's sakes.
So Ryan was honored today, and he has been for the past year. He was a firefighter for the city of Walla Walla. He was found dead in his bed. Come to find out, he had a heart attack with no warning signs. And my biggest thing since his death for everybody is that, and to advocate for those in fire, EMS, law enforcement, and everything, is they are in a different algorithm. They're in a different category in regards to medical, in regards to their care, their stress. And I appreciate what the Department of Labor and Industries and the safety of it in looking for those things and helping to improve those things. And we will. Because of Ryan's death, he has already saved 1 life in his department, and the rest of his department has had more thorough physicals, and that information has spread to help other firefighters. If you have anybody in that career, in your family, friends, you know them, speak up for them, advocate for them, and let's not have any more deaths. So thank you.
I invite any family members, friends to come join us here. Ring the bell. If you want to speak, you can, and if you just want to remember in your heart, and that's great as well. This is your opportunity to honor and celebrate your loved one. Well done.
I do. That's for Jenny. Here. Oh God, I feel like I just totally whacked that. My bad. Sorry, I was a little aggressive on that. This is my mom. Since Danny Hoffer was my stepfather, and watching him love my mom the way that she deserved was really special. He treated her the way that she needed to be treated for years, and I just am really grateful that he came into our lives and we can honor him this way and with you guys. Yeah, so we miss him not so much. Sorry for totally whacking the bell so hard.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna go big.
So feel free to join us if you want to ring the bell. The mic is optional. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. We're going to leave the hammer out, and if any of you individually want to come up and ring the bell and reflect and share within your hearts the memories of your loved ones, please do. We have some light refreshments inside in our auditorium, and so I'd invite anyone who wants to come back inside to spend a little bit of time together to feel free. And again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you all for pausing from our busy lives to reflect upon 97 lost souls, and thank you for your willingness, your passion, your commitment to preventing any other workplace fatalities from occurring across our great state. With that, thank you and have a wonderful day.